Just reaction. This is the Fat Electrician reviews the Apache helicopter. This was a Fat Electrician. I saw the Black Hawk video, and Black Hawk is like one of those famous plane, but I'm guessing it's like more like a, I don't know, like transport type of plane, then direct attack plane. This Apache feels like, isn't this from the GTA, right? Like in the GTA, when you like what are the cheat codes you apply, and there's like a plane there. Basically, just like this, like a long, I don't know, dragonfly. I don't know what is the look of this plane, but that like like a long wing and the smaller top part, but it has like an insane amount of like weapons and shit. That's the Apache, right? Like this is the proper attack helicopter. I don't know. I think that's what the case is. We will see it. I don't know much about helicopters. I guess I've been watching videos about military-related things, and I've been watching a lot of like jet planes, tank, this and that. Nobody talks about helicopters. No, helicopters are obsolete or something, because I don't know, like jet planes themselves are struggling, right, to like anti-air missile and shit like that, right? Helicopters would be like very easy picking in things like that. I don't know, so I'm guessing helicopter might not be the best thing in today's world, but with certain scenarios, why not? But yeah, I'm guessing that there must be some attack helicopters that are in development right now, or like still carrying over, like Apache or something, right? So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I like Fire Electrician. He talks about a lot of military stuff, equipment things, nowadays, like badass series, like events of the things like World War II. Recently I watched about how spy network, of how one person created the whole spy network of the World War II. I knew about the things that were happening, like guerrilla warfare level of things in France. I didn't know that one person triggered all that. So yeah, I like his videos like that. If you haven't seen my reactions to all those, like check out the link in the description there to find it. I will create a playlist for it, or in the end of the video, end card. Yeah, let's do this one.
Today we're talking about the Apache helicopter. This video is brought to you by Moose and his helicopter, the Help Wanted. And he wanted to give a shout out to the Alpha Company Archangels out of Camp Humphrey, South Korea. Like the Chinook, it is named after a Native American tribe. It is also operated by two...
Okay, this is Chinook, because I don't think there's Apache, so this is Chinook with two. This is a cargo helicopter, is it?
Men. But that is where their similarities end. Because while the Chinook may be extremely versatile, the Apache is meant for one thing and one thing only.
That's the Apache, right? Like you see this in like every like 80s and 90s video, right? Like Rambo and shit like that. This is the plane you see.
Disassembling
not plane
bad
helicopters.
Guys. I like to call it Bob the Unbuilder, which is Bob spelled backwards. Now, why disassembling, you ask? Well, because this is the main gun sitting right underneath the cockpit. It is a 30mm chain gun. Now, I have no fucking idea what a millimeter is.
Like the
We're gonna go
Warthog?
with something a little bit more American. Now, as you can see here, a 30mm round is approximately one piece of uncooked bacon. And
that shit is as American as it gets. This is like... Look at his hand, though, man. Compared to his hand, like that's a fucking bull. That's like a proper knife, right? Knife-sized bullet. That is insane.
That gun is capable of shooting 650 bacon bullets per minute. That's not even the scary part. They can connect the gun directly to the gunner's helmet. So where he looks, the gun points. Meaning all the gunner has to do is look at you and push a button. And then the next thing you don't know, you're showing up...
You're kidding me, right? Isn't this like an old helicopter by now? Like Vietnam type of... They had that kind of technology back then. They wore a helmet and just looked at it and like it aimed automatically. What? I mean, they've been talking about like this kind of like a helmet control center thing in F-35 and planes like that. So I'm like, okay, they are kind of like trying to do that. No, they were doing that with the Apache. Like just look at it and just like press a button. There you go. Don't have to aim it. But what if you like look at the ally and somehow mistakenly press a button? That ally is fucked.
Up to the morgue in a body bag with a little note pinned to the front of it that says some assembly required. Like you're a piece of IKEA furniture. An IKEA cadaver, if you will. And that's just the gun under the cockpit. It's also capable of carrying 8 Hellfire missiles and 38 Hydra rockets. And if you really upset them, they can use anti-personnel,
Backup,
if you will. And that's just the gun under the cockpit. It's also capable of carrying 8 Hellfire missiles.
8 Hellfire missile. 8
missiles and 38 Hydra rockets.
30 Hydra rockets. I'm guessing there's those like make sound and just explodes. Oh my god, that is an insane amount of firepower. Nobody talks about helicopters nowadays, because like I say, it could be like like anti-air defenses might make them obsolete. But yeah, helicopters can be insanely powerful, and obviously like jet planes are really fast. They're like, hit and run type of things, while helicopters can just hover there and fuck you up. The helicopters can be really insanely powerful.
And if you really upset them, they can use anti-personnel Hydra rockets, which are just rockets filled with 2,200 nails. How does it ammo the rockets? Oh, that little dome on top of the propeller is called the Fire Control Radar. It's capable of tracking 128 moving targets at once while actively engaging 16 of them. Meaning you can be behind it and it will still be hitting you with the Freedom fireworks. Now, having a lot of firepower is great, but how tough is it? It's basically a flying fucking tank. The cab surrounding the pilot and the gunner is armored to resist up to a 23mm round. Now, I'm not a fucking scientist, but if that's a 30mm round, then a 23mm round would be approximately 19-20 fists the size of a strip of uncooked bacon. Yeah, I don't need millimeters when I got bacon bits. Okay, so it's deadly and it's tough, but that doesn't mean shit if you can't be in the right place at the right time. It's a good thing it's equipped with 2 GE T700 turboshaft engines, giving it a top speed of 192 miles an hour and 3,800 horsepower. You have any idea how many ducks that is? According to the interwebs, 1 horsepower is equivalent to 131.2 water chickens worth of energy, giving Bob the Unbuilder nearly 500,000 quack bangs worth of speed. And if that wasn't enough,
I'm not gonna lie, still like horsepower is still like weird, right? They also measure horsepower with the rockets that we send in space. Doesn't matter how many horses you tie together, they're not gonna fly in space. So they just measure a horsepower. I understand it's just like, sure, back then it made sense when we were riding our horses, but by now, PS kilowatts or something like that, right? Like transfer it to like some other metric would make more sense. But we're still using horsepower for some reason.
Healthcare, they also gave it the ability to remote connect to a UAV drone that was flying above, giving it the ability to see the entire battlefield and shoot more Hellfire missiles from the drone. In conclusion, the point I'm trying to get across to you is if you see Bob the Unbuilder overhead and you're a bad guy, you're about to become a giant 3D puzzle because you can't outrun it, you can't outgun it, and you can't hide from it. It is truly unhealthcare at its finest. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoy my content, maybe like to buy a shirt.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like nowadays there must be like anti-air helicopter things. Basically, everyone might have it, right, in today's world. I don't know. I don't hear about like how much helicopters attack helicopter work in like today's like Ukraine war and things like that. Does that even work today? Because I don't know. It feels like jet planes has to become like this kind of stealthy even at their speed. Like hovering helicopters must be easy picking. But yeah. If they somehow find a way to make this like still like relevant, a helicopter is insane. Helicopter is like tank, but it's in the air, right? Whenever you hear of tank and that belt sound, the metal belt sound is just, oh my god, he's a tank coming. Helicopters in my you're like, oh fuck me. Anybody who played like old style video games, like early 21st century video games, right? IGN and shit like that, they know like how sudden sounds can be really, really panicky. Games used to be really good back then. Nowadays, it's like bullet sponge and shit like that. It's just like, doesn't matter. There's a tank. Okay, so what? There's a helicopter. Yeah, what is gonna do? Yeah. Well, that was the Federation reviews. The Apache helicopter. It's a badass one, like 8 Hellfire missile. That alone is like, whoa, that's an overkill. Yeah. If you like my reaction to subscribe. If you haven't seen my other reactions to Federation, I guess check out the end card. There's a playlist up probably somewhere here. And yeah. I'll see you next time. I'm Instagram if you want to follow me. Link in the description. Yeah.